Hello there, very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Primetime News on TV1 for the News First, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this evening.
Ferry services from Sri Lanka to India commence after 40 years. A new political movement, Mahasangha, gather at the Mihintale Raja Mahaviharaya.
අපි ඊළඟ ජනාධිපතිවරණේ මහමැතිවරණට අපි ඉල්ලුම් පත්‍ර කැඳවමු. අපේ හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේලා නිර්දේශ කරන්න.
Grade 5 scholarship exam. Report to the nearest exam center in case of a disaster situation. A message from the exam department. Landslide red alert notice issued for Haldumulla Badulla. Several provinces experience heavy showers and thunder showers. IGP CD Vikramaratne granted a service extension. Israel gives Palestinians in the northern Gaza Strip another 6 hours to leave the area. Israeli army says it killed 2 Hamas commanders who led the attack.
On to those stories in detail. Ferry services between India and Sri Lanka commenced today after 40 years. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined this program online.
The ferry services commenced as per the Memorandum of Understanding signed between India and Sri Lanka. The inaugural ceremony of the ferry service between Nagapattinam, Tamil Nadu and Kankasanturai, Jaffna was held in Nagapattinam today. Indian Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways Sarbananda Sonowal, Minister of Highways and Minor Ports E.V. Velu and others attended the event. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation Nimal Siripala de Silva joined the opening ceremony online.
During the recent visit of President Vikramasinghe, we jointly adopted a vision document for our economic partnership. Connectivity is the central theme of this partnership. Connectivity is not only about bringing two cities closer, it also brings our countries closer, our people closer, and our hearts closer. Connectivity enhances trade, tourism, and people-to-people ties. Our vision for connectivity goes beyond the transport sector. India and Sri Lanka collaborate closely in the wide range of areas such as fintech and energy. Digital payments have become a mass movement and a way of life in India due to UPI. We are working on fintech sector connectivity by linking UPI and Lanka Pay. Energy security is crucial for our countries to power our development journey. We are connecting our energy grids to enhance energy security and reliability. With the beginning today, we will also work towards resuming the ferry service between Rameshwaram and Talaimannar.
Speaking at the event, President Ranil Wickremesinghe thanked Prime Minister Modi and the Indian Shipping Corporation.
For thousands of years, people have traversed the Pork Strait to travel from the Indian subcontinent to this island and from Sri Lanka back to the Indian subcontinent. This is how our cultures have developed. This is how our trade developed. The connectivity between our two countries were disrupted due to the war in the north. Now peace has returned and we can re-establish the sea connectivity. I discussed this matter with Prime Minister Modi and I must thank him and the Indian Shipping Corporation for the role they have played in re-establishing this connectivity. We hope that to see more and more persons coming to Sri Lanka, traveling from Sri Lanka into India. The Kankasanture is very important, but the first time the ferry service comes to Kankasan. Similarly with the Palali airport, which gives us air connectivity, and Kankasanture, which gives us sea connectivity, we could see increase of transactions between our two countries.
Meanwhile, Minister of Ports Nimal Siripala de Silva requested India to support the initiative to commence the ferry service between Talemana and Rameshwaram as soon as possible. After the ceremony, the Cheriyavani ferry left Nagapattinam to Kankasanture at 8:20 am. After about 4 hours, the ferry arrived at the Kankasanture port at 12:15 pm and the vessel was welcomed with a special ceremony. Cheriyapani ferry left the Kankasanturai port for Nagapattinam at 1:15 p.m.
நூற்றாண்டு காலம் பழமை வாய்ந்த தமிழகத்திற்கும் இலங்கைக்கும் இடையிலான
The century-old passenger ferry service between Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka has resumed today after 40 years. The ship, which departed from Nagapattinam, is currently heading towards Kankasanturai port. As we can see, people are coming eagerly to travel on Cheriyapani ship.
Cheriyapani ferry was built in Kochi, Kerala at a cost of 250 million Indian rupees. A one-way ticket to travel between Nagapattinam and Kankasanturai costs 27,000 rupees, while a full round trip costs 53,500 rupees. The vessel allows 50 kilograms of luggage per passenger. A ferry service between Thalemana and Rameswaram was last operated in 1984.
Israel announced this afternoon that it would give Palestinians in the northern Gaza Strip another 6 hours to leave the area. Meanwhile, Israel's military has said it killed 2 Hamas commanders who were behind the cross-border deadly rampage into Israel a week ago. The military said it killed Merad Abu Merad, who was the head of the Hamas aerial system, and Ali Qadi, a company commander of a commando force.
What are the reasons for the war?
Amid soaring Israeli-Palestinian tensions, Hamas militants launched an attack on Israel under the name of Operation Al-Aqsa, with its fighters entering communities near the Gaza Strip. More than 1,300 people were killed. Even now, more than 100 people, including young children and women, are being held as hostages while being the target of Hamas rocket attacks. The AFP news agency has compiled a list of more than 100 foreigners who have been confirmed dead, missing or taken hostage based on information from their national authorities, with many more unaccounted for. Accordingly, Israel has launched a massive operation to rescue its hostages and suppress the attacks. Israel has warned 1.1 million Palestinians living in North Gaza to evacuate south, and thousands have been fleeing by vehicle or on foot. According to reports, civilians living in northern Gaza have been told by the Israeli military to use 2 roads to head south today, despite the demands of Hamas to ignore Israel's warning. Meanwhile, 70 people, including women and children who were fleeing from today's attacks, had died. Foreign media report that 324 Palestinians have died in 24 hours, and reports indicate that 66% of them are children and women. Meanwhile, the bodies of a group of missing Israelis have been found in the Gaza Strip. This was during a search operation carried out by the Israeli army near the border of the Gaza Strip. Foreign media reported that the dead bodies have been brought to Israel. A Reuters video journalist was killed and 6 other journalists injured in southern Lebanon yesterday when missiles fired from the direction of Israel struck them. 2 journalists from Al Jazeera were also injured yesterday along Lebanon's southern border. A spokesperson for United Nations peacekeeping forces in southern Lebanon said all of the journalists were injured in the same incident.
What is the reaction of international organizations?
The World Health Organization has requested Israel to withdraw the announcement made by Israel to the residents of northern Gaza Strip to withdraw within 24 hours. The organization says the safe evacuation of people being treated in hospitals in the northern Gaza Strip has become a crisis. UN said the number of displaced people in Gaza rose to 338,000.
What is the stance of the United States of America?
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has pledged to continue to support Israel during a visit to the country. He attended a joint news conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has arrived in Saudi Arabia to discuss the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In the last 2 days, he also met a group of diplomats, including the Palestinian president and the King of Jordan. The U.S. Secretary of State is set to visit Egypt in the coming days.
Foreigners leaving Israel in the face of war.
Israel and Egypt have agreed to open the border crossing for Americans to leave Gaza. About 90 U.S. citizens can cross Israel's Rafah border into Egypt. The road will be open for 5 hours for Americans to leave. However, before the attack, the Palestinian Hamas organization warned people in the southern Israeli city, Ashkelon, to leave the city. Israel declared war in response to these Hamas attacks, launching a bombing campaign against Gaza. About 2.3 million people live in the Gaza Strip, and the Gaza Strip is run by Hamas militants. But Israel controls the airspace and its coastline.
What is the latest update about the two missing Sri Lankans? Has Israel received any specific information about the two Sri Lankans who went missing after the Hamas attack on October 7th?
We have not received any specific information about it from the Ministry or the Red Cross. Apart from that, we were informed yesterday that two Sri Lankan women have entered Israel through the Lebanese border. The security forces have arrested them. We are currently working to confirm their identity.
Sri Lanka police says that the Akurana town in Kandy is currently inundated due to heavy showers in the area. Vehicular movement of light vehicles has been hampered due to this. Meanwhile, several areas in Mathura are still flooded. The lives of residents in affected areas are still disrupted as well.
Although the water levels of the Nilvala River is decreasing, many areas are still flooded as floodwater in low-lying areas have not reduced. Residents of Malimbada, Katuwangoda and Narangala point out that the water levels have not receded for over a month. Areas including Vellathota, Nadugala, Tudava and Kumaradasamawatha are still inundated. The villagers say that the wastewater levels are also increasing due to the overflowing of the drainage systems in Tudava, Mathura.
ලොක්කම කට්ටියක මේ ගමේ එහෙම කුණු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මේක. මමත් මේ හිර වෙලා වගේ ඉන්න කොහොමද ඉතින් මේ යන්න විදියකුත් නැහැ ගෙවල් බලාගෙන ඉන්නත් එපා. ඒ ගණක මහා වතුරේ මේ තරම් වතුර ඇයි ගෙදරට ආව ගෙදරත් වතුර. අද මේ රටේටම පිරීලා. ජීවත් වෙන විදියකුත් නැහැ නේ මහත්තයා. ඔය කොහෙන් පොම්ප දාලා දාන්නෙත් නැහැ වතුර බහින්නේ නැහැ කොහොමද? ඒක තමයි අපිට ප්‍රශ්නේ. ඊට රෝග වැඩි එන්නේ.
People who are displaced due to the floods are taking shelter in several temples, including the Hittetiya Rajamahaviharaya. Area residents have set up tents on the protective bund of the Mathura Nadugala Dam. The Digaguda, Malimbada and Mathura divisional secretariats will provide food to the displaced people, while health officials and the army will provide them with sanitary materials, medicines and treatment. The Met Department has issued an amber advisory for severe lightning in several areas across Sri Lanka. Thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning are likely to occur at several places in the northern, north-central, central, Uva and Sabragama provinces tonight. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organisation has extended the landslide warnings issued to several divisional secretariats in 10 districts across the country. A landslide red alert was issued to the Haldamulla Divisional Secretariat in the Badulla district.
The Grade 5 scholarship exam will be held tomorrow. Commissioner General of Examination Amit Jayasundara stated that all arrangements have been made for the scholarship examination.
375,596 students will be sitting for the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination 2023. 2,888 examination centres have been established to accommodate these students.
What are important notices the candidates must be aware of?
Candidates must carry their examination admission card and they must report to the exam hall on time.
What items are candidates prohibited from bringing to the examination centre?
Cell phones or any sort of communication devices are completely prohibited. Candidates cannot use calculators and erasers such as Tipex. The Department of Examinations said that the students who are unable to sit for the exam at the designated examination centres due to the adverse weather conditions or any other emergency situation have been facilitated to sit for the exam at the nearest examination centre.
If an emergency situation occurs on the date of the examination, we have taken the necessary steps and given the permission to go to any examination centre closest to them. Therefore, for any reason, if the children cannot go to their designated examination centre, they can sit for the exam at any centre most convenient for them.
The Mathura District Secretary Y. Vikramasiri said the examination will not be hindered by the flood situation in the Mathura district.
දෙමාපියන්ගෙන් විශේෂ ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා ශිෂ්‍යත්වය
A special request is made to the parents of the children sitting for the scholarship exam. Try your best to bring those children to the areas closest to the examination center the day before the exam and keep them there. In areas where this is not possible, we ask that the necessary facilities will be provided. Considering the prevailing situation, we probably won't need boats, but we will need large vehicles. We hope to receive them and do the necessary work.
අපි ඒව ලබා දීලා අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු.
The Mahasangha unveiled the Ratahadana Maga National Program to the general public today at the Mahintale Rajamaha Viharaya. This event was organized by the National Bhikkhu Collective led by the chief incumbent of the Mahintale Rajamaha Viharaya, Venerable Dr. Walava Hangunawave Dhammaratana Thero. The Ratahadana Maga National Program was presided over by Mahasangha. Venerable Dr. Walava Hangunawave Dhammaratana Thero presented the Ratahadana Maga National Program to the Mahasangha.
We have assembled the Mahasangha here today to teach a lesson to the corrupt political culture. If you throw a stone at a dog, the dog will run after the stone and not the person who threw it. That is the dog's method. What is the lion's method? When you shoot an arrow at a lion, the lion will chase the archer and not the arrow. So we gathered here today to teach a lesson to this corrupt gang of thieves and to show the lion's method. The Mahasangha are not scattered. We are uniting under one voice to show the power of the saffron robe. That is why we have gathered at the historic Mahintale Rajamaha Vihara today. This was the birthplace of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Likewise, we hope to start rebuilding our nation from this very historic place. Now our leader Ranil Wickremesinghe is taking loans from the IMF. We take oil, then we burn it, and then we ask for loans again. We have given everything we can. We only have our kidneys left to give. When this country is being torn apart like this, if we as the Mahasangha don't fight for our nation, then we will not do justice to our robes. So we came to the road to honor our duty. The chief incumbent of the Mahintale Rajamaha Viharaya is providing leadership to us. We would like to say that even if we drop dead, we will not let anyone touch our country. We need our country. We need a country to live. We must do our duty to our future generations. We are in debt to these people. We need to stand up because of that indebtedness. Did we take these loans? Did we rob this country? The leaders we had from 1948 were ignorant to the needs of the country and focused on enriching their private property, which ultimately led to where we are today. All races and religions should stand up and unite to save this nation. This country has been sold. Only after an official visit do we get to know that our country has been sold. So we must do what we can. These leaders have not changed and will never change. The Mahasangha can bring one person from their temple or constituency to the political platform. We are indebted to our people. They will curse us saying that they gave us many almsgivings and took care of us, but we did nothing. We have many political parties that have been given to us which are unrelated to the corrupt parties. 50% of female representation between 40 and 60 years. Even a woman will be eligible to lead this country. Therefore, with respect to those people, we invite applications for the next presidential and general elections. We have to make arrangements to go from village to village to educate our people and drive these politicians away.
Leader of the opposition, Sajid Premadasa, says that the Asian Development Bank is preparing to provide $100 million to help micro, small and medium enterprises. He expressed his views in a discussion held with officials of the Asian Development Bank.
The meeting between the opposition leader and the officials of the Asian Development Bank took place at the opposition leader's office. The Asian Development Bank country director for Sri Lanka, Takafumi Kadono, and a group of small and medium-scale entrepreneurs participated in the event. Speaking at the event, the opposition leader said that the relevant amount will be received in December.
Sri Lanka has very poor levels of state income. We need to maintain higher levels of state income. And in that context, we have enhanced the tax rates. We, on the other hand, we believe that we should grow ourselves out of the problem. We believe in economic expansion and economic growth, which will enable businesses and livelihoods to flourish, and also in turn ensure that the state has adequate revenue to furnish the requirements, priorities of our motherland. So once again, let me thank the Asian Development Bank for allocating an approximate sum of $100 million US at this juncture to help the small and medium-sized businesses, first through the National Credit Guarantee Institution, and second by providing adequate capital and finances through the banking system, namely 13 banks.
The All Ceylon General Fisheries Federation made a revelation today regarding the importation of fish without the necessary approval. Fish that were brought down from China are stacked in Colombo now. 3,000 kilograms of coconut meat, copra have been brought, and 9,958 kilograms also has been bought. The value of it is more than 16 million rupees, but it is stuck in the Colombo port because the proper procedure has not been followed. We are asking the fishermen here, do you not catch these type of fish? Why aren't they taking those? Because the officials in the ministries do not get cut from our fish. Now they have no way of clearing it from the port. This is the money the fisheries community bring to the economy of the country. The fish of our local fishermen have been given little to no value and is rotting.
Entry, exit, inspection and quarantine of the People's Republic of China. China company can ගෙන්නලා තියෙන ලංකාවේ දියර සංස්ථා සිලෝන් ෆිෂරිස් කෝපරේෂන් එකට තමයි ගෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ. මේකට අදාළ වෙන්නේ රාජ්‍ය අමාත්‍ය පියල් නිශාන්ත මහත්තයට කියන්න.
We are telling the state minister in charge and the chairman of the fisheries corporation to stop doing underhand games. We are ready to challenge this action. Our fishermen gives us fresh fish, but that is not given to our health sector. They are given fish shipped from China. These underhand games need to stop. We are telling the relevant minister and the chairman of the corporation to give us answers to this within 24 hours. Can we not harvest fish from the Sea of Sri Lanka when there are various accusations about importing fish to our country? This is the stock of fish caught in the fishermen's nests at the Untachimadam beach in Batticaloa since yesterday. These fishermen are extremely satisfied about their larger than usual catch. Is it not true that they are importing fish from abroad despite having one of the most resourceful oceans, the Sea of Sri Lanka? People of Sinipura who have been suffering due to the lack of clean drinking water was able to smile today. Gammadda, an initiative for the people, took another step today in solving a long-standing issue faced by the people in Sinipura.
Sinipura is a village in the Kantale Divisional Secretariat in the Trincomalee district that is familiar to many people in the country. That's because the famous Kantale Sugar Factory, a factory that once thrived economically, is located in this village. However, the problem faced by the people of Sinipura is not so famous. Last year, during its door-to-door campaign, Gammadda was able to identify the issues faced by the people of Sinipura. Lack of clean drinking water is one of the problems they face on a daily basis. Families that live here, surviving the elephant attacks, suffer from kidney ailments from consuming saline water out of desperation. 250 students and student monks receive education at the Sinipura Bandarnayaka Vidyalaya. These students that engage in their education amidst multiple difficulties do not have a proper source to obtain clean drinking water. Heeding to the woes of these people, Gammadda commenced a project to construct a water purification system. Financial support for this generous project was provided by the Managing Director of Speedmark Transportation Lanka Private Limited, Sunil Malavana. The project was completed with the technical support of the Sri Lanka Navy. After 3 months of construction work, the project was bestowed to the area residents today. Children of the Bandaranaike Vidyalaya welcomed this endeavour with a colourful dance. The project was declared open with the blessings of the chief incumbent of the Sinipura Viharaya, Venerable Kumburavala Ratanapala Thero, and M. Anwar Maulavi of the Ilahia Jumma Mosque. Students of the Sinipura Bandaranaike Vidyalaya showcased their talents during the ceremony. Trincomalee Additional District Secretary S. Sudhakaran, Managing Director of Speedmark Transportation Lanka Private Limited, Sunil Malavana, News First News Manager Ravindra Nanayakkara, Gammadda V-Force National Organizer Gihan Udyoga, Navy Lieutenant Commander MD M. Gunatilaka, Kantale District Senior Superintendent of Police Buddhika Manatunga, Commanding Officer of the 5th Artillery Brigade Major P.B. Vakadapala, Civil Defence Force Commanding Officer Chamika Akalanka, Agbopura Police OIC Vipulaha Puarachi, and Principal of the Bandaranaike Vidyalaya Vasanta Kumuduni participated in the event. Chief Incumbent of the Sinipura Viharaya, Venerable Kumburavala Ratanapala Thero, invoked blessings during the program.
We are grateful for Gammadda for the service they render. Kantale was an area where people made a living while working for a sugar factory. After it was closed down, people did not have water to drink. They lost their homes. While these hardships are faced by the people, Gammadda took measures to ease their burdens significantly.
Managing Director of Speedmark Transportation Lanka Private Limited, Sunil Malavana, also addressed the gathering.
Looking at the opening of this clean drinking water project, I am enjoying an innocent sense of pride. I must deliver a promise to Gammadda in this moment. Our company will continue to assist projects similar to this in the future.
The happiness of getting a solution to a long-standing issue was put to words by a few area residents.
වර්ෂාව ලැබෙන ප්‍රමාණය ඉතාමත් අඩුයි අපේ ග්‍රාමයට. ඒ වගේම මිනිස්සුන්ට පානීය ජල අවශ්‍යතාවය සපයා ගන්න බොහෝ දුර යන්න ඕන ජලය තියෙන තැන හොයාගෙන ගම්මැද්දෙන් අපේ ගමට ආපිට ගැන ඉතාමත් සතුටටපත් වෙනවා.
සතුටුදායක දවසක් අද. අද තමයි හතරම් වතුර බින්දක් දීගන්ට ලැබුණේ එකම දවස අදයි කියන එක මා දැන් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී කියා සිටිනවා.
බොහෝම පින් ගම්මැද්දටත් ඔබ තුමාලා සියලු දෙනාටත් පින් දීර්ඝායුෂ ලැබෙනවා. මේ කරපු කර්තව්‍යයට තවත් ඉදිරියට යන්න ඔබ තුමාලාට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය ලැබේවා කියලා මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. ඔබ තුමාලාට බොහෝම ස්තුතියි.
Lack of clean drinking water is an issue faced by many people in Sri Lanka. In the future, Gammadda will work to quench the thirst of people who are suffering from the lack of clean drinking water.
News First with the people.
C.D. Vikramaratne has been given another service extension as the Inspector General of Police. Police spokesperson SSP Nihal Talduwa stated that a 3-week service extension was granted with effect from yesterday. C.D. Vikramaratne was scheduled to retire from the post of Inspector General of Police on the 23rd of March. However, the President extended his service on several occasions. As the 35th Inspector General of Police in Sri Lanka, C.D. Vikramaratne assumed his duties as the Inspector General of Police on November 27, 2020. Former Director General of the Bribery and Corruption Commission, President's Counsel Sarat Jayamana, expressed the following views regarding the lack of human resources in the Bribery and Corruption Commission.
Now the Bribery Commissioner's Department of Bribery Commission, they don't have a single, forget about forensic accountant, forget about forensic auditors, they don't have even a single account as investigate. Most of the people who are here, you may have done commerce or mathematics as a subject. They can quickly they can quickly understand where the issue is. In no seconds, they can trace the money trail. Unfortunately, ordinary police officers, those who have passed advanced level, maybe O level, maybe a few have degrees, they may not have that skill. So we need a people of that background. So we are lacking. Now with this new change, we are blessed to have some of our officers here. You will change your status quo, being a spectator, will join as an actor in the role.
President's Counsel Sarat Jayamana expressed these views at an event titled The New Anti-Corruption Act, A Fresh Start, organised by the Medico-Legal Society of Sri Lanka.
The Breast Cancer Symposium 2023, organised by the Indira Cancer Trust, was held in Colombo yesterday.
The Breast Cancer Symposium 2023, organised by the Indira Cancer Trust, was held in Colombo yesterday under the theme Empowering Hope, Uniting Hearts and Advancing Minds. Delivering the keynote address, Professor Maitri Vikramasinghe said the education system of the country needs to be the first entry point in the prevention or detection of breast cancer.
My generation of women were never encouraged to be self-aware of our bodies, let alone our mammary glands. In fact, as young girls at puberty, we were discouraged from familiarizing ourselves with our bodies, neither by vision or touch, nor even speech in public. Our educators in school, whether in the health class or the science class, had glossed over the reproductive system. Consequently, our knowledge was confined to diagrams of black and white, drawings of pectoral muscles and lobules and ducts when it came to the anatomy of the breast. Remember, this was an era where you could not acquire or clarify or confirm knowledge instantaneously with your fingertips. Consequently, I believe that it is the education system in Sri Lanka, if not at primary level, then at secondary level, that needs to be the first entry point in the prevention or detection of the disease. Now, Dr. Nisanka Jayawardena was talking about consciousness raising in adolescence informally, but I think we should really go into the schools. Anecdotal evidence indicates that potential cancer patients are also inclined to deny or defer a formal diagnosis due to their reluctance to be identified as diseased or as victims or as imperfect. They also tend to refute the linkages between symptoms and cancer due to the anxiety of its possible impact, for instance, on employment or the household or the marital life or financial prospects, or due to the emotional costs to the family.
Specialists, medical professionals and other stakeholders participated in the event.
Day 35 of the second leg of the Divisavya program organised by the LOSC group got underway today.
Under this worthy initiative, students of schools with less than 100 students are gifted school books and stationery items. Today's program was held centering the Ampara district. School books and stationery items were distributed among students of the Kannai Hindu Vidyalaya, Vishnu Vidyalaya, Alminan Vidyalaya and Saraswati Vidyalaya. This worthy initiative is a collaboration between the LOLC Group and the Ministry of Education. The LOLC Divisavya program will continue to create a bright future for the country's student population.
Shifting your attention to international news, New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins has conceded his Labour Party lost Saturday's election as voters punished the government and took the country rightwards 9 months after his predecessor Jacinda Ardern suddenly resigned.
The rising cost of living dominated campaigning, with voters New Zealanders ending 6 years of Labour Party rule, the latter half of which was dominated by the country's strict response to the coronavirus pandemic that successfully kept infections low but battered the economy. With 90% of votes counted this evening, the centre-right National Party, led by former airline executive Christopher Luxon, had amassed around 40% of ballots. A dejected Hipkins told supporters that Labour did not have enough votes to form a government. Luxon said that New Zealanders had voted for change and that his party would now get to work trying to form a coalition.
official ICC Men's Cricket World Cup India 2023.
In one of the most awaited games in the 2023 ICC Cricket World Cup, India registered a 7-wicket victory over Pakistan in Ahmedabad today. The match was played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad in India. Indian captain Rohit Sharma won the toss and decided to bowl first. Accordingly, Abdullah Shafiq and Imamul Haq started the innings for Pakistan. Abdullah Shafiq was the first to get out for 20 runs off the bowling of Mohammad Siraj. Skipper of Pakistan Babar Azam scored 50 runs for his side, while Mohammad Rizwan, the wicket-keeping batsman, scored 49 runs. For India, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravindra Jadeja, Mohammad Siraj, Hardik Pandya and Kuldeep Yadav took 2 wickets apiece. From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. Take care and good night.